Just waiting for some people to get in here. Hello, everybody joining. We've got some news coming in regarding the Brian Landrie case. I'm going to share the information. From what we knew right now, apparently the Landries had called the police saying that since the park had been open again, that they were going to be going out and searching in the morning. Police did meet them there. They have blocked off the park. Now, within that search, apparently there was articles of Brian's that was found just off of a trail, and forensics and stuff was called in. Let's go to that right now, and I'm going to share with you what is going on and what they have found. Okay, so once I get this going, you guys, please hit 1 if you can hear it. Please, Holly, please don't put anything in the chat like that until it's been verified. Okay, let's go ahead and play this.
I think, another thing that's significant, if in fact we do confirm with authorities that articles belonging to Brian Landrie were found at the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, that would tend to confirm that, yeah, he was there. He was there at some point. I know from
that's what I was getting at before I was the assignment desk just wanted me to show that shot of a vehicle leaving from the park.
Was that the command center, JB?
No, it wasn't the command center, or at least it didn't appear to be the command center. Okay. I don't think the command center was mobilized that quickly. But what I wanted to mention was, if this was in fact a trail or an area that Brian Landrie had been to in the past,
I'll be right back. I have something breaking.
Okay. How do we, and to finish that thread here and finally get this out, how do we know with certainty that it was in fact belongings from the last several weeks? What if these were belongings that were found from Brian Landrie from weeks ago? Masi, you're back.
I'm back with some breaking news that I'm going to read to you right now. The newsroom just handed me a piece of paper that says, quote, the Sarasota County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed that they have been called by the Northport Police Department to the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. So now we know that the Sarasota County Medical Examiner's Office has been called to this scene.
Now, can we confirm, and I'm looking here for our entire team, we have a full team here in the newsroom. Can we confirm that this is the first time that the medical examiner's office has been at the scene? Or again, because there's been so many different departments of law enforcement that have been called here to Myakkahatchee, to the Carlton Reserve, and I want to make sure that this isn't a procedural just be on standby to have units here on standby, or if this is the first time that they are being called, the medical examiners are being called here to the scene.
Great question. I don't know about the medical examiners.
Hold on, I'm muting mics for a second.
Okay, let's not put any information into the chat until it has come out on the news, please, or I'm just gonna mute or turn off the live chat. I don't want anything put up until it's been confirmed via news.
We are trying to clarify whether or not this is the first time that the Sarasota County Medical Examiner unit has been here at the search for Brian Landrie, or if this is something that has occurred before to have the medical examiner's unit here on standby in the event that they discover something, whether or not this is procedural or whether or not something has been found. And we're trying to clarify that. Don't go anywhere on WFLA now. Our entire team is working the phones, including Masa, who is...
That's why I'm looking down. I apologize.
No, it's okay. You got to look down at your phone, and I'm looking down at mine. And we're again...
This is a breaking story. We're trying to get information for you, keep you up to date. But again, 2 significant events that have just happened. According to the Landrie family attorney, articles belonging to the Northport Police Department to this very site that you are looking at.
And have they, or does it say whether or not they have arrived?
it says they have been called. It does not say that they have arrived, but we should let Allison Henning know about this so she can be on the lookout and let us know when they do arrive to that scene.
And I'll hit the touch screen here, go split screen, and we are about to lose Eagle here soon. And as I understand it, we're going to try to get Eagle back up in the air if possible after refueling in nearby Venice. But we're live here. We have the feed there on the right side of your screen, the ground shot showing the entranceway that is still blocked by a law enforcement vehicle, the entranceway to Myakkahatchee Park. Breaking news update here on WFLA Now.
Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here's JB Buno.
Moments ago, WFLA confirming that the medical examiner's office being called to the Landrie search here at Myakkahatchee. We're live from Eagle 8 HD. We also have a shot here from the ground showing you the entranceway to the park, engaging a new digital audience here live on WFLA Now in what has been an eventful hour with new developments coming in really every 10, 15 minutes or so. Eagle's muted. Yep, Eagle is muted.
Thank you.
Eagle is communicating over the radio as far as now having to figure out refueling options, as far as Eagle can go to different areas to get refueled. And so our team here just pointing out that they're now communicating over the radio. And yes, Eagle 8 HD's comms are muted. But Masa Saidi, WFLA investigator, JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now, breaking down all of these developments. We are going nowhere. And we know that there are countless #HeyJB, countless #Hey Masa questions and comments that are coming in. But Masa, let's just kind of break down this new development here. The medical examiner with Sarasota County called to the Landrie search. And that's why, you know what, we're going to really start to look now closely at this shot here. We don't know if the medical examiner's office is already here at Myakkahatchee. And let's make that clear, because you're not going to find too many and I've been covering news now for some time. Masa, you have as well.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, you guys, I did turn off chat because I asked that people do not put things into the chat that have not been said yet.
Here already.
Let me just pause this so you guys don't miss anything. I don't want false information being put out there. And every time something breaking like this comes out, we get a whole bunch of people in chat saying this and that. He's deceased. He's found deceased. They have not found a body yet that we know of. Okay, I'm trying to keep you guys up to date with the latest. But having stuff like that put in the chat, it's just going to spread like wildfire. What we know right now from what's being reported, and I only put verified stuff out there, is that they have found items. We have not heard of any body being found, anything like that. Items have been found. Yes, people have been called out there, the medical examiner's office. That could be for a lot of different reasons. Let's just only have the verified information out here. I will restart chat again, but if it starts that people are going to put stuff out there that has not been shown yet on my channel, then I will turn the chat off again. Okay, so that is all I'm asking. Please respect that. That I do not want things put out there until it has come out already that, you know, I know it's been verified. So that way rumors aren't started and go haywire. Okay, so we all know how that happens. So let me go over and I will restart chat. But if it continues to happen, I'm just going to turn chat off again. Okay. And I'm going to set it for subscribers only. So that way, hopefully, that will cut down on a lot of the trolls. Okay, so it's set for subscribers only. You have to have been subscribed for at least 2 days to be able to chat. Hopefully that cuts down on a lot of the trolls coming in. Okay, so let's continue on here, you guys.
And we just don't know about it, or they could be pulling up in an unmarked van here momentarily. And again, we wouldn't know about it, but we're trying to confirm. We're working the phones right now
I'm looking down. I apologize because I'm.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just
That's
whether
okay,
or
Mr.
not
Gray. I
this
just
is
want to stick to the facts
or whether
here.
or not this is the first time that they've been called, and they have been called for a very particular purpose here at Myakkahatchee. Let's go back live to Eagle 8 HD while we have a little bit of fuel left and show you that that area there. And I want to see if that was the mobile command unit or if that was a tent that has been set up underneath tree cover there.
I can't tell from this vantage point.
Okay,
Are you
let's
texting
stick
Jim
to
Hawkins?
what we already
Come
know.
in over comms.
Or I'm going to turn off
Jim,
chat
it's JB.
again.
Just if you could zoom in on that overhead, on that overhang. There we go. Thanks, Jim. So now that there was an overhang that was pulled out from the mobile command unit, I'm not sure if that is a tent that has been set up to cover an area from the harsh Florida sun, but
Hello, Belfiore.
Jim, this is JB. I just opened up your comms. Hey, Jim, do we know, is that the mobile command unit overhang there, or is that a different area?
You know what, JB, I'm not really sure. I know that they brought this tent out on a ATV and just erected it here underneath these patch of trees. This is where there seems to be activity going on, though. But they just put this tent up just about 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim. Jim Hockett, who filling in for Paul Lamison.
CC, please
and
stop.
This is an interesting development now because a tent has been erected over the last 5 or so minutes, and I know that the overhang with the
I'm putting you guys in
unit that is there, that had been up previously.
I'm asking, do not say anything in here that has not come out yet on my feed.
Now, and it's a shame that we're about to lose Eagle 8 HD here, and it's also a shame that we're in such a heavily wooded area, but that's quite frankly, good luck
Summer Dawn,
finding
if you see anything
an area that isn't heavily wooded here at
in the chat that shouldn't be there, that has not come out yet, please just
we're really honed in here on an area that they have put a cover over, and that could be for one of several reasons, but it could be to thoroughly examine a discovery.
Thank you,
that
Summer.
could be what this is.
It could be that. That would make sense, what you're saying. But of course, we are not going to jump to any conclusions here on WFLA until everything is confirmed. But we have seen in the past 5-10 minutes, according to our photojournalist, Jim Hockett, up in Eagle 8 HD, that this tent that you're looking at has been erected. We also know that Chris and Roberta Landrie told law enforcement last night they were going to go back to the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. The park opened yesterday, and then Chris and Roberta Landrie told law enforcement, hey, we're going to go back out there. We're going to look for Brian. After a brief search of some trails, they found, quote, articles belonging to Brian Landrie. And now we know that the Sarasota County Medical Examiner's Office has been called to the scene by the Northport Police Department. And now we have Eagle 8 HD. And
Okay, so like you guys just heard, and that's why I'm not going to allow all these comments speculating about other things that are going on out there until it comes out on the news itself. Now, yes, the medical examiner has been called there, but we don't know what that's for yet. So we're not going to speculate. We're going to listen here, and that's what we are going to discuss. I don't want to be any part of the rumors flying wild and everything else. I won't be part of that drama. Okay, so right now, for those of you who are just joining, apparently the parents of Brian decided that they were going to go out this morning now that the park is open and start searching. The park, the police decided they were going to join them. We don't know yet who it was that found these items. Okay. All we know at this point is there was items that apparently belong to Brian Landrie that have been found just off a trail in the Myakkahatchee, or however you say it, Myakkahatchee Park environmental area. So that is what we are sticking to right now. The medical examiner has been called out. We don't know what that is for yet. It could be anything found on those items. It could be the items themselves, them wanting to get DNA. It could be anything. So let's stick to what we do know, okay? And I will continue playing this. Summer Dawn, thank you for being here. And I trust my mods 100%. So if anything is posted that has not been shown here yet, that it's going to be removed. And if you want to continue, you'll just be blocked.
Just want to confirm this is definitely above the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, right? JB?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now we know that they have erected this white tent. And
Let's go split screen for a second. Another vehicle has just appeared at the entrance. So that vehicle there that is in the foreground was just here pulling into Myakkahatchee, and now is stopped here and what appears to be talking with the law enforcement officer that is blocking the park entrance from any public, any member of the public that is trying to get through. And now you can see that they're pulling in. Okay, now we have several, let's go full screen, several vehicles here now pulling into Myakkahatchee.
Okay, let me pause this just so I can ask you. The park was closed, Mr. Gray, while they were doing that massive search for Brian in the park. Okay. You guys are very welcome. And thank you to all you guys for understanding why I want to keep just to the facts and what is coming out here. So nobody can say, oh, all these rumors and that came from Willow's channel. No, that's why I'm sticking to exactly what we are hearing, what we have heard right now. If you want to comment on that, it's fair game. But until something, I have all kinds of people saying, oh, he's dead, he's this, he's that, they found a body. We don't know that yet. So let's not comment on that. So thank you for respecting that. Summer Dawn says, I can see you doing the air quotes with items. Can you actually see me doing that? But I was doing that. So let's just stick to the facts and let's just stick to what is coming out. And I will try to answer your questions as I see them in chat.
And this goes back, folks, to...
Yes, somebody asked me what my thought were. I'm thinking, is this something that the parents planted there since the park opened to the public again yesterday? We don't know. Okay, so that's why I'm saying let's not speculate. Let's just listen to what's coming out and we can discuss that. This could be anything. Like I said, the park only opened yesterday and then all of a sudden something of his is found. To me, that's a little suspicious. And it's items. So they didn't say a body, they said items. So let's just stick to what we are hearing here. Let's go back to the video.
Allison Henning's reporting saying that there has been considerable in and out activity at Myakkahatchee. I think the shot now frozen. It appears to be frozen. And again, that's just how rural the area is. Let's hit the touchscreen and go back to... Okay, now Eagle's getting a better vantage point here and circling this tent that has been set up underneath this dense wooded area here. There's a lot of trees over this particular tent. And so this
Okay, so let me pause this for a minute, you guys. And I'm going to take you to something else here. And I'm going to show you this. And then we will go back to the video. I did pause it. Okay, so I want to give you guys a better idea of where they are. So if you can see right here, like I said, I put some time into this, you guys. Here's the helicopter. It's coming back to the Myakkahatchee Creek Park. There's my sister. Thank you for being here. This is the helicopter coming back. It had to go and refuel, and now it is back in the area, and it's going to show you, okay, it came from, I believe, Venice or up here somewhere, but here's another helicopter over here. But here's the helicopter, and it's circling all over this area, okay? So the Landries live right down here in this area here, I believe. Somewhere in this area. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the Landries live in this area right here, you guys. And this is where they're searching with this helicopter. So we will go back to the other screen so I can show you what is going on there and any news that is coming out. Let's go back to this. Okay, and let's hear what's going on. So we are sticking to exactly what is coming out on this information, and that is it. We will find out, Michelle. We're not going to speculate on that. Let's find out.
Set up for shade.
There's a lot of shade from the trees, right?
Exactly. So that's just an observation here. You wouldn't be setting up a tent as just a shaded area for law enforcement to kind of gather and
yes, Jana,
take a
very
break
close.
from search efforts and drink some water. You wouldn't be setting it up in an area that's covered by trees. You would be setting it up in an area that is exposed to the sun.
I understand your arguments.
Would you be setting it up? What we're saying is we don't know why this tent has been set up. It's very possible that it is procedural. It's very possible that it's for, okay, so we're getting a look now in through the trees. A disclaimer, we don't know what we're going to see here. This is live from Eagle 8 HD.
There's a table. Is that a table or a vehicle?
It does look like a table.
Hey, Alexis.
Also, I'm going to mute your mic. So, hard to see.
Yes, Jana,
hold
they
on.
look
Yeah, I'm
very
going to unmute you,
close.
Masa. Hold on, I have an idea. Hey, Jim, any opportunity to open up the exposure on this camera, even though it's going to blow out the image? Is there any chance that you could open it up and we could see a little bit more detail there into what we're looking at?
Thank you, Janice. I appreciate that.
That's about as good as I can get without blowing it out too much to where it's washed out.
10-4, Jim. Thank you. So there. Okay, now we can make out. Now we can make out individuals. You can see team members there. Looks like they're looking down at their phones, and it's hard to see. I see
Jesse,
at least
it's
one,
not Brian
two,
that they found. It's items.
There's
three. No, there's four.
Gosh,
I see at least four people.
You have much better eyesight. I just see two. I see two people on the right hand. Oh, I see three. Oh, I see four now. Okay.
There you go. So
Kathy, the park had been closed for the massive search, and it was just reopened to the public yesterday.
We are at this tent that has been set up at the Landrie search area at Myakkahatchee. All of this occurring on really the same afternoon now that we have had the medical examiner with Sarasota County call to the scene, and articles of some kind being discovered at the search area for Brian Landrie, according to Stephen Bertolino, the Landrie family attorney.
Okay, so I'm just going to pause it for a minute, you guys. And Shivani, thank you. Yes, forensics could have been called to confirm or deny whether the items are Brian's, if there was physical evidence or anything of Brian's DNA or anything like that on those items. Also, yes, when they were placed there, like I said, I'm getting gut feelings that these could have been placed there. The park was just opened again to the public yesterday. And then all of a sudden, once the park was opened, Brian Landrie's parents phoned the police saying that they were coming out this morning to go and search. All of a sudden, this morning, these items are found. Now, were they placed there by somebody? Were they actually Brian's from, was he actually in that reserve and they are his items? We don't know. That's why I'm saying let's stick to the facts and what is coming out on the news here and what we can verify. This is not a body so far that we know that has not been found. But let's just stick to facts that are coming out. So thank you for that, Shivani. I really appreciate it. Yes, there's a lot of fishy things right now, but let's see and let's stick to the facts. And that's what's coming out right here with what you see. Let's start this up again.
It appears 1, 2,
welcome,
3,
man.
4. I think that there's at least 5 there. It's kind of hard to see. Jim is doing a really great job, and our pilot doing a phenomenal job at hovering in one spot here just to give us this very narrow view through the trees here. There you can see some chairs, a table, and a cooler, or what appears to be a cooler, there on the left side of your screen. And then not underneath the tent, but next to it, at least 4, perhaps 5 law enforcement officials.
So this is really, on a case that we have followed so closely every single day, noting what vehicles are going in, what vehicles are going out, what's happening at all the entrances of the Carlton Reserve, of the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. Today is significant. To my knowledge, this is the first time that we have been able to confirm that the Sarasota County Medical Examiner's Office, or any medical examiner's office, has been called out to the scene. This was
Jill,
done by
that could
Northport
be for many
Police.
reasons.
They were called out to the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. This is a small park that is adjacent to the Carlton Reserve.
Amy, they could have had somebody else do it.
Swampy area that we have watched for weeks as law enforcement has done a search at that area. We know today that 2 units with the Pasco County canine human detection unit were back at the scene today. We know that
we got something here, Masa. Now a new vehicle appearing here, Lee County Mobile Command Center.
Oh,
so now additional law enforcement resources here arriving at Myakkahatchee. And I'll try to confirm here with our team, whether or not this is the first time we've seen the Mobile Command Center with Lee County pull up to the search for Brian Landrie. But this is now another mobile command center arriving.
Yeah, Joan, we don't know who found the items.
Indication that they are calling in even more resources, multiple mobile command units, the Sarasota County Medical Examiner, and we have to report only what we know. But based on this amount of activity, Masa, this is more activity that there's been in the last 3 weeks combined.
It is a significant day in this case, no matter what happens next. This is a significant day. It is October 20th, and this is the first time that articles belonging to Brian Landrie, according to the Landrie family attorney, have been discovered. If this turns out to be accurate,
I don't know where Lee
we always want
County
to confirm
is.
everything with law enforcement. If that turns out to be accurate, that is a sign that Brian Landrie was in fact there, as his parents had said. It's also obviously significant that the medical examiner has been called out to the search area done by Northport PD. That is something that we have not seen before. We haven't seen this much activity in many weeks. And what's just strange here is this area was just opened up to the public after being shut down for a month to try to find Brian Landrie. This was just open.
Okay, so let's just pause this for a minute, you guys. If we go back to, for all of you that were in Mr. Gray, yes, the mobile command center is for processing evidence. Where people can come and talk, where they got all kinds of stuff in that van that they would be able to use to process stuff. So for those of you who were in the live yesterday, when we asked these questions, okay, one of those questions was, is he going to be caught? And it said, yes, this month. Do the parents know what happened? We asked questions about if they're like covering up. We've got yes. So with this happening the very next day after we did that pendulum session yesterday is amazing. Okay. Also, the last read that I did on him said that he was going to be caught within the next 30 days. So this is big, you guys. So let's see, let's follow. Let's see what's going to happen. Are they going to finally have him? Are they going to finally catch him? Let's see. I don't want to speculate. Right now, all we know is that they have found items belonging to Brian. So they are going to be testing those items probably for DNA and stuff like that to make sure that they are Brian's and it's not just another false lead. But this is the most extensive that we have seen. So let's get back to it.
And it closed back up because apparently, according to the Landrie family attorney, Chris and Roberta decided last night, upon finding out that the park was back open, they apparently had a conversation that they wanted to go look for Brian.
You're gone.
Law enforcement, FBI, Northport, they were notified. They met them there on scene this morning. So that explains why we saw so many law enforcement officials. And after a brief search off a trail, articles belonging to Brian were found. So indeed this is a significant day in this case.
Not exactly what our audience want to see. No, we don't want to see it, but it is the reality of covering news from the air. Eagle 8 HD flying over Myakkahatchee and refueling. We'll have details for you as to when we're going to get Eagle 8 HD back up in the air.
Kathy, this is at
as soon as that information is available to me, I will pass it along. But Eagle,
Park
actually, I think Eagle stayed even a couple of extra minutes to provide us with those shots, but has to get nearby to an airfield to refuel. So Eagle 8 HD leaving the scene. Let's show you, though, the video that we're talking about that Eagle 8 HD was able to obtain right before having to leave and refuel. This is now the tent that a lot of folks are going to be talking about on social media, and the purpose of this tent. And we don't know anything about it other than what we see with our own two eyes. And we see that it has been set up in an area that is there's a lot of trees around. It's a heavily wooded area. That's every corner of Carlton Reserve or any corner of Myakkahatchee. You can see that there's considerable amount of law enforcement there, multiple team members that are there. They're not standing underneath it right now. They're standing where they were, again, 5 minutes ago. They're standing next to it. What appeared to be a cooler was there, a table, a couple of different chairs were there. Right. And this could very well just be an extension of the mobile command center that they have set up at the Myakkahatchee area. It could just be an area for them to meet, and this could be nothing.
But what you're trying to get at is
another vehicle. Hold on, another vehicle showing up here.
It's just passerby as well. It looks like some people just rolling up to the scene.
Just to let you guys know, I'm not muting anything.
We don't know if that is the location where the articles were found. I think that's what JB is getting at. And we don't know if that is where any other potential evidence in this case was recovered.
As you can see, the considerable amount of attention that is now being paid here to the entranceway to Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park here in rural Sarasota County, Florida.
Yes, Kathy, and that could be one of the reasons why they're bringing in these vehicles. Our photojournalist Justin Rogers pointing in there on that address,
6968 Reisterstown Road. And the online sleuths and everyone who has been following this to incredibly minute detail knows that address. That is the address that was on the citation when the Ford Mustang was found, 6968 Reisterstown Road. So this is the area where that silver Ford Mustang convertible was cited as an abandoned vehicle, and was eventually, of course, located, found, and returned. And this is that same spot.
Yeah, that is exact. That was, if memory serves me right, that would have been on September 14th at approximately 2:18 p.m. The Northport Police Department cited that Mustang for being left there overnight. And I know, according to the Landrie family attorney, that on that day, on the 14th, sometime after 2:18 p.m., when that ticket was placed on the Mustang, Chris and Roberta were at the scene. They were looking for Brian because he hadn't returned. He had left on the 13th, they say, and they searched for him on some of the trails. They didn't find him. We know that approximately 2 weeks ago, Chris Landrie was back at this very exact scene, showing law enforcement Brian's favorite spots, Brian's favorite trails. We know that it seemed like we were finished with this park, because yesterday was opened up to the public, but Chris and Roberta Landrie decided to return to this exact same area today.
I think it's that is different
when, according to the family attorney, Annie, I want to quote this: after a brief search off a trail that Brian frequented, some articles belonging to Brian were found.
I'm glad
we don't know what these articles were. We do know that the Sarasota County Medical Examiner's Office has now been called to the scene by law enforcement as well. We're trying to understand the significance of that development, and we're not going to jump to any conclusions. We are going to stick to the facts. And what you're looking at is some video taken, I would say approximately 30 minutes ago now, of a white tent that has been erected at the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. And we don't know what this is for, if this is part of the command center, if this is where they're just meeting, if this is where there could be potential evidence. They're trying to cover it from our view. We just don't have answers to that, but we are working
See,
the
there's
phones
you could
as we
just
are
see the
on Wish You
cooler
Here,
in the
explaining to you
bottom
what's
right
happening.
here.
We're
It's
also
still
trying to
there.
get more information from
There
attorneys,
it
from
is.
law
Oops.
enforcement and other agencies.
What we're going to do now, while we
Cooler
have
is
Eagle
down
8
here a
HD
bit.
refueling, we're also live. Let's just kind of make this very clear. We're also live from the park entrance. We still have this feed. If we see any vehicles pull up, we'll show you exactly just some of the in and out activity that we've been talking about as far as
Kathy,
the
I
entranceway to
agree.
Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. We'll show that to you here, but we're going to stay here, everybody, with the tent that has been set up. A lot of attention being paid here to this tent, the reason for it. But while with fewer feeds, I have a lot here, a lot of buttons, a lot of touchscreens to press. With now Eagle 8 HD going to refuel, it opens up the opportunity for us to start featuring your hashtag HeyJB questions and comments, your
Absolutely.
hashtag HeyMasa questions and comments. So Masa, if you're ready to start those questions and comments from social media, we will do so. And again, so how this works for our audience.
Okay, so the chopper is going to refuel. So we are going to, when the chopper is back, we are going to jump back there. Let me just see. I'm checking other sources, you guys. Okay, so some other news that I just got, you guys, is this morning also, before this was found, the police department did request a canine out there for, it's called a cadaver dog. It's for detection of human remains. That was also brought out. But right now, as far as we know, the only thing that has been found are items. And yes, I do feel like there's a lot of distraction going on here too, but I am checking other areas too. So if I go quiet for a minute, you guys, please know that I'm checking other places to see what else has come out. So bear with me for a minute or two. Okay, so I am listening to other We will be getting back to the live in a second. I'm just searching some other sites, you guys, and to see what's coming out about this so I can give you anything that is coming out that can be verified. I will be going back to the live as soon as the chopper is back there. Okay, so here's an official release. And it's saying that Chris and Roberta Landrie went to the Makahatchee Creek Environmental Park this morning to search for Brian. The FBI and NPPD were informed last night of Brian's parents' intentions, and they met Chris and Roberta there this morning. After a brief search off a trail that Brian frequented, some articles belonging to Brian were found. As of now, law enforcement is conducting a more thorough investigation of those items and that area. So there has been no confirmed anything that it was Brian's body or a body of any type. There were items found. Now, from this release here, if there was a body found, that would have been put in there. So as of right now, where they found these items, there is no body that has been found as of yet. So let's stick to the facts, you guys. And yes, there's a lot of talk about, you know, that area, especially the area that they are in right now, has been searched. Like CC, okay, look at, I've asked many times that you stop with stuff like that. That's just going to be it. There's no other body found. I'm going to put that out there right now. There has been no body found. There has been items found. But to me, it just seems kind of fishy that the park is opened. The parents say last night to law enforcement that they're going to go out there in the morning searching. And then an area that they have been in a lot over the last 3 weeks is where they find these items. And like I said, I think that he was constantly on the move. So could very well be that between the last time they looked in this area and now that these items were left there. We don't know, but I did get that he was constantly on the move. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you guys for right now. Okay, so right now, I believe this is the chopper coming back that we are getting all the views from. I believe it's this one right here. There is another chopper. This could be a police helicopter that is also circling the area. And you can see exactly where that is, okay? And I believe that this is the news helicopter coming back here. We won't get any information from this helicopter because that's probably law enforcement. But this is the area where his parents, I believe, live, is down in here. And this is where they are. Okay? So as soon as this helicopter makes it back over here and gives us an aerial view again, I will go back to that so we can see that. So that's why, like, I'm not going to show you just the chopper flying over there. So thank you, Laura. Yes, this could have been something like, now that the water has all receded, you guys remember this area was all really flooded. So now that the water has gone down, this could be stuff that has been there for a long time. And this also could be why they got that forensic type vehicle there, so they can see how long that had actually been there. Panda, we don't know that it was the parents that found it. It could have been the police. We don't know who found it yet. Yes, exactly. We don't know if it was the laundries that found it or if it was the police that found it and maybe showed it to the laundries. We don't know yet. So we're not going to give a conclusion on that. Yes, like right now we are not hearing that there was a body found. Mystic Ray, the helicopter is on its way back. I'm just looking at it now. Yes, it is on its way back to the area. Do you guys want to go back and just hear what they are talking about until the helicopter comes back? If you guys want that, I will put that up. Put one in the chat if you guys want me just to put that back up where they were reporting this from the news station. Yes? Okay. So we can listen to what's going on and if there's anything breaking, and they will go back to the helicopter once it's back.
It's
okay, so here we go.
We can
you guys all hear it?
There's just no information here that we can use to properly answer it.
I can say this. I can say that law enforcement, that Chris and Roberta Landrie notified law enforcement they were going to go back out to the scene, and the FBI and Northport PD.
I'll turn it up a bit for you guys.
Roberta Landrie, as they did their quote brief search, and that's when the articles were found. That's all we can say. Those are the facts.
Facts of the case. Nicole Capozzo, #HeyJB. Maybe Brian was injured and they found evidence of that. Is there a chance that
do you guys remember that? I'm going to pause this for a second. Do you guys remember that? That's a good question. Maybe Brian was injured and they found evidence of that. Do you remember in my read, I got the bloody handprints. So it could be that there is some blood on those items that were found. Okay. So let's continue to listen. Whoops.
Is there the chance that those articles, as Stephen Bertolino puts it, were from a hiking trip well before July?
Sure could be, based on his text. It sure could be.
Yep.
That's a fact.
And now all of a
we don't know
sudden,
the time frame.
could Brian Landrie have been here in the spring, dropped something or dropped some things, because we know it's plural articles, and now with the water receding as much as it has, could these items have now been discovered? Sure, all within the realm of possible, but we just don't know. We are going by one statement released by one attorney,
A detailed
and that
statement,
one
though. Yeah.
detailed, but representing the Landrie family, and so it's just not
Could very
from
well
law
be,
enforcement.
Elizabeth.
And until we have information from law enforcement, we have to always preface this by saying that this information is coming from Stephen Bertolino. Tracy Cabrera, hashtag Hey Masa, wouldn't it be a waste of resources to send a medical examiner out for a maybe?
Oh, I just got a text from somebody. What was that? I'm sorry.
No,
Wouldn't that be a waste of a resource to send? No, absolutely not. Listen, this is such
not with a story of this magnitude,
or of any. I think any criminal investigation, anytime that law enforcement
Martha,
feels
the
need to call the
that they
medical
want
examiner to try to confirm whatever it is that they may have discovered, whether it be animal remains, whether it potentially be human remains. So much time. So many resources have gone into this investigation. So I think this is just
a
people
medical
being
examiner
so
could
desperate to try to
take
get more
DNA
information.
just
and,
to confirm whether it's
all
Brian's
we
or
can tell
not.
you is that the medical examiner was called out by Northport PD, and we can also tell you that Pasco County had their human detection dog at this scene earlier today. And those are the only facts that we have. But no, it wouldn't be a waste of a resource to just send them out to check something out.
Thank you for your question, Tracy. Sharon Miola, hashtag KJB. Let's go back to the video of the tent. Has water receded where this tent is now? Water is receded everywhere across this, pretty much virtually the entire 25,000 acre reserve. The entirety of this area has seen considerably less rainfall than what we saw in September.
Much cooler temperatures now as well.
Oh, yeah.
We had our fall here in Florida.
Yep. And it's certainly, these are more optimal conditions to search when the water has receded, when it's not as blazingly hot. It's just easier. You can see that, law enforcement are here, and I can assure you that it is much more comfortable out there today than it was a month ago in September.
And you just made me think of something, JB, because one of the biggest questions that I had is, September 14th, Chris and Roberta looked at these trails that Brian loved. We know that nearly 2 weeks ago tomorrow, Chris Landrie was back looking at the trails in this area that Brian loved and Brian frequented.
Those
so
items could have been under the flooding that was there, and now that the water
Chris
has
and Roberta
receded,
come out to the scene today after
they're now seen.
Brief search, make this discovery now. And maybe it's what JB just said. Maybe the water has receded. Maybe this is an area that was covered by the water before. We just don't know. But certainly that is one possible explanation into why are we just now, according to the Landrie family attorney, finding quote articles belonging to Brian, when this is an area that has been searched over and over again, from above, from below, by multiple law enforcement agencies. And maybe it is the weather, the water receding. Who knows?
Let's get to this question from Brooke. Brooke Vance, hashtag AJB, hashtag AMASA. Could Bryant's parents have put the stuff there that they found? Yeah,
John,
so we just addressed it in the previous comment. Let's get to Lisa White, hashtag AJB, hashtag AMASA. Could this area have been underwater when they originally started the search? Yeah, I think that we're starting to see some a similar thread and pattern of questions here.
Yep.
Jonathan Aker, hashtag AJB. Can you confirm if the Landries have been called back to the reserve as reported elsewhere? Masa, you want to?
Yeah, so actually I am. I don't want to give too much information because of my source, but there is, people outside the scene told me that Roberta has, come out dressed up. So she is still at the house, according to one source that I have at the scene right now.
So
she's at the house.
Yeah,
right now,
but to the question here, been called back to the reserve as reported elsewhere.
I don't know where that. I mean, Jonathan, if you could tell us, who was reporting that and who they are attributing it.
And we don't know if Jonathan's comment here was pertaining to
actually
when we originally said that they were back at the reserve as of
this morning.
As
they
of
were
this
back
morning,
this
that
morning.
was
Yep.
them coming back. So that's what this commenter might be referencing.
And they weren't called, and so this morning they weren't called back out to the reserve. This morning they went to the reserve, and they had notified law enforcement last night that they wanted to go back to not the reserve, the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. So I think what he was asking is, were they called there? And our clarification for you is, according to the Landrie family attorney, they wanted to go back there, and that's when they made their discovery of the articles belonging to Brian. And then after that is when the medical examiner's office was called by Northport PD.
Checking in on just some, let's show you back here. No new vehicle activity. But again, if you're just joining us, the medical examiner has been called to the Landrie search area. And we say has been called to the Landrie search area. Masa, perhaps it's worth, just checking in to see with
John, the pendulum said 5 to 10 miles
previously. If the medical examiner.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that one for now, and I'm going to share something else with you. Okay, so it is 5.606 miles from the Landrie home where they are. They're up in this area right here where these roads kind of join. They are right up in this area. So I believe the pendulum was right.
Very significant, though, the fact that they just keep coming in. There's vehicle after vehicle.
And the Lee County Mobile Command Unit was strange.
I'm not exactly how far away is Lee County.
Let's get an idea as to like mileage here. I'm going to give everybody a mileage count.
It could be that they just have a nice spacious mobile command center. I mean, who
so
knows?
The area that they are searching, you guys, is just over 5 miles from
today to the
their home.
Creek Environmental Park. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Just hours after law enforcement determined, hey, we're done here, this can open back up to the public, it closed again. Chris and Roberta Landrie decided they wanted to come back out and look for Brian this morning, and they did. And they were joined by the FBI and Northport PD, according to Stephen Bertolino. So that's just extremely significant to me. And the fact that we are just seeing agency after agency arriving to that scene. Are they going there because, we know that articles belonging to Brian were found, but was something else found as well? That's the question. That's the question
John,
we have based on the fact that the Pasco County has sent one canine capable of detecting human remains, and the Sarasota County Medical Examiner's Office has been called to the scene. So that is.
So we have heard this already. So I just want to turn this down a minute so I can just.
All right, looking here at some new information coming in, and it's pertaining to. Okay, hold on. I'll get to the new information in just a second. Let me just explain. It's not breaking information. It's just new information about Eagle. Okay. So let me just explain the county map, so to speak. So Sarasota County, of course, on the Gulf Coast side of Florida, Central Florida, but the west side, Gulf Coast side of Florida. So it goes Sarasota County. To the south of that is Charlotte County. One more county down is Lee County. Now, Lee County has Fort Myers in it. That's where Fort Myers is located. It's about from Fort Myers, about an hour drive. Let's say an hour drive from Fort Myers to Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. So it would be about an hour for you to get that mobile, and it's actually like 55 minutes. But given that you're hauling a massive mobile command unit, that's not as quick as the average vehicle. I would say we'll just say an hour to get from Lee County to Myakkahatchee. And let me explain why Lee County was likely brought in over, let's say, a different county such as Charlotte County or Glades County or DeSoto County. The reason being is because certain sheriff's offices and certain law enforcement agencies in Florida have more resources and they are more equipped for a scenario like this. And Lee County being a more populated county than some of the others I just mentioned, it is very likely that they reached out to Lee County specifically because they knew that they had a mobile command unit that was equipped to handle a scene like this. So that's why. But we also had, there's multiple command units there
Right.
at the scene. Okay, back to the Eagle 8 HD update.
We don't know
Adrian,
that,
Elizabeth, #HJB. Any word on Eagle 8 HD and when he'll be back in the air? We have been told, and let me just have this 100% right with Eagle. Eagle is refueling right now, and Eagle 8 HD will be back up at 2:30 Eastern time.
Okay.
2:30 Eastern.
We're really going to
Oh.
appreciate having that vantage point from the air again.
So I
but
don't know what
I'm
that
getting
other
some
helicopter
tweets
was.
right
It's gonna
now
be
asking
from
us to
another news
recap just
station,
the very
maybe?
basics of what has happened today. October 19th, yesterday, the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park reopened back up to the public after being closed
Granny
down
B,
for
that is
nearly
not
a
true,
month as
so
multiple agencies
that is being
searched
removed.
for fugitive Brian Landrie. Chris and Roberta Landrie last night
The medical
apparently
examiner can come
notified
out
law
for many
enforcement
different
that they
reasons.
wanted
It doesn't
to
have
go
to be a
back out and to
body.
look for Brian today. And that is why we saw a large law enforcement presence back at the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. Our Allison Henning showing up to the scene, just being confused as to why it was closed down again. The attorney then confirming to me, the Landrie family attorney, that some articles belonging to Brian were found after a brief search. And then after that, we learned that the medical examiner's office has been called out by Northport Police. And we saw, I don't know when at this point, but an hour ago, more than an hour ago, we saw this white tent being placed. And it's unclear as to why that tent has been placed, whether that's part of a command center or whether that has been placed to, because there's evidence was recovered nearby. But I just had a thought.
Okay,
The
so
fact that there
let
was,
me just pause this for a second, you guys. So what I am getting is there are more FBI agents showing up in the area. There's a lot of media that has now shown up. As far as we know right now, it is not a body that was found from what we know right now. Apparently there was clothing that was belonging to Brian Landrie found at the reserve. Okay, and the tent that has been put up, that is, I would assume that is so they can place things. You can see that there was a table underneath that tent, and that's so they can place the items once they are retrieved from where they are on the ground or in the tree, wherever they are, because we don't even know where these items are yet. Those will be placed on that table. That's a clean slate with nothing to contaminate it around the items that they have found, so they can inspect those items. That's what I believe is going on with the tent, underneath that tent right now. This is other stuff that is coming out that is verified. Okay, I do have some photos that I'm going to show you, and this looks like FBI. Okay, let me just get back to here, you guys. I do have this on pause. I'm going to show you some pictures of what was found. Okay, so this apparently is what was found. Whatever was found is in this bag. Okay, and this is an officer that has this. So you can see here, there's like, it's almost like it's either for a backpack or a fanny pack or something. This is the Landrie's, I guess, going searching in that area. And this is a police officer that has that bag that is speaking to them. So I believe that this is the evidence bag. So once it's in the evidence bag, they don't have to have the gloves on. I'm not going to speculate why or what. I just wanted to bring you guys these pictures that this is apparently an item that was found that is inside of this bag. So that is probably what they are looking at. And this is the Landries talking to the FBI agent. So I wanted to share that with you. I told you guys that when I got verified information that I will bring it to you. So let's not speculate. Okay, so let's not speculate, you guys. Let's not add anything into here that, you know. Okay. Let me just get back to the other stream for you guys. Whoops.
The mobile command unit.
Okay, so there we are. We're back there, you guys.
Right to this tent. So let's but what we're gonna do now here, everybody, what we're gonna do over the next
Caroline, yes. Apparently both parents went out to search this morning.
Point here, we're all working the phones, calling everyone we know, trying to get information. We are equipped here to, of course, handle it.
Shauna, I didn't say it was an evidence bag. I said whatever they found was inside that bag.
So we know who to contact.
I said it could be a bag that they just put it in. I don't know, but
and
it's inside that bag.
We know a lot of the folks that are actively participating here as far as law enforcement. So we're working the phones, and anything that we can pass along to you here, we are going to. And Masa, you see her eyes looking
Shauna,
down?
Thank you.
Yeah, she's looking down because she's working the phones right now.
Well, I wanted to let our viewers know that Heather Monahan, she's our digital content producer, a real superstar. She's obviously also working this case for us right now. She has reached out to Josh Taylor, and she said that, you know, acknowledged that we know that Northport is not the lead agency on this case, but she asked if he could provide any kind of comment on the activity at the site of the Brian Landrie search today. Obviously, she mentioned how Sarasota County, the Sarasota County Medical Examiner said they were called out by Northport PD to the scene. And so Heather is asking for additional information. We just want you to know that we are doing everything on our end to try to get you facts about what's happening here. But so far, all we heard from Northport PD was the search is on, and we'll let you know if there's a significant development. But it does feel like there has been, he didn't say significant development, the words that Josh Taylor from Northport PD had for Allison Henning. He said if there's anything of note, we're going to let everyone know at the same time. But I would argue, you know, calling the medical examiner is something of note. And that is why we are once again reaching out to the Northport Police Department, trying to understand what more information they can tell us about why they called out the Sarasota County Medical Examiner's office a short time ago.
Let's, what I'd like to do now is feature some more comments. You can use hashtag HeyJB, you can use hashtag HeyMasa. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to feature more of your hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyMasa questions and comments, and a lot of A lot of live streams would be going off right now, or we're going to stay with you.
Thank you, Shauna. And I
It
appreciate
would
you
be
all
very
being
normal
here.
for us in other circumstances to just end this stream and start a new one when Eagle 8 HD is back in the air. We're not going to do that. We're going to stay here with you live on WFLA now while we're waiting for new information to come in, while we're waiting on breaking developments, while we're waiting for Eagle to get back over Myakkahatchee. What we'll do is we'll feature some more of your questions and comments that are coming in now using hashtag AJB, hashtag HeyMasa. And if you were with us on our stream yesterday, you saw
Just give me a second, you
also
guys.
taking video questions, putting a face to our audience, our audience watching really from around the world. And what we're going to do now is we're going to feature some of the video questions that have been coming in. How you submit a video question. Let me just put this out there. You send it to the WFLA JB Facebook page. I can then take them from there, make sure that they don't contain any inappropriate language or anything that is way out there in left field, make sure that they are good for stream. We can take them from there, and then we can feature them here on our interactive WFLA Now live stream. But let me just caution our viewers, these questions that we had preloaded into our stream for today were before all of these developments. So you're going to be seeing video questions come in from likely yesterday or early this morning. So we'll feature the first question. Let me see the first question in our queue and as far as video questions go. And this one comes in from Whitney. Let's get to Whitney's video comment to the WFLA JB Facebook page.
Hey JB, my name is Whitney Sitch and I'm with the True Crime Sisters, and we have a Facebook group called Justice for Gabby Petito. My question today is, how do you respond to people who think that the case is already going cold?
So there you have it. I just, Masa, do you have your earpiece in? Were you able to hear that?
I did.
Okay,
Listened to
good.
everything.
So
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to just click off on that for a minute, you guys. I want to check something else. Because there is... Let me just bring this over here. I'm getting everything messed up here, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get some other information to see if anything else has come out. Okay, so let me just bring this back a little bit because I think you guys should hear this, because this is where I think that you guys are getting maybe other information that I can't verify. So like I said, that's why I say I don't want anything brought in here unless it's verified. And this is why. Okay, so I'm going to turn up the volume and you guys can listen to... Oh, crap. Okay, wait a minute. I forgot to share my audio. Okay. So listen to this.
Is going on. We have not been able to independently ourselves confirm that. When we do, we will pass it along.
Okay.
National park out there in western Wyoming, not positively ID'd to be Gabby Petito, but I think the day of the autopsy, 2 days later, a Tuesday, positively ID'd to be Gabby Petito. Her death, the manner of death was determined to be a homicide. And I believe it was October 12th that
There's something coming up here in a second, you guys, that
Teton County determined that she had been
JB's going to talk about.
Death, throttling, manual strangulation.
And it's speculation.
And then yesterday,
And he
one
makes a
search
point of
area
letting
opening
everybody
back up
know
to the
that.
public, a significant development. Many people, again, reaching out to JB, wondering if this case had gone cold. And today we find out that for the first time in this long, multi-state, multi-agency search, articles belonging to Brian were found. So just wait and see. At this point, JB, I'm going to be with you for another 15 minutes. And my understanding is that our
Listen to
other
this.
investigative reporter, Walt Bateau, is going to come join you. We're going to have team coverage for you on Channel 8 here in Tampa, Florida, WFLA TV. I'll be on with Allison Henning at 4, 5, and 6. We have our Nico Clemens on this story. And do you know if you want to mute that?
No, let me just I'll share exactly what the announcement is to our newsroom. We are very well aware that there's another media outlet reporting that the coroner is at the scene. We're very well aware of the other reporting that is going on. We have not been able to independently ourselves confirm that. When we do, we will pass it along here to you. But to the comment section lighting up saying that this media outlet is reporting this information, I get it, totally get it. But we have to confirm it here ourselves. We have a thorough process. I was asked this question over the weekend as far as the process that we go through to confirm information. And we're
Diane,
going
the
through that
parents
process
wrote
right
searching
now.
this morning,
And
long
until we
before this
can,
happened.
report that information, we're just going to not do so. So it's something that's very much on our radar. We know what's happening out there, folks. I'm surrounded by 7 screens for good reason. And when we have that information to share, we will absolutely do so.
I love that.
Let's get to, how about Masa, would you like to get to the next video question?
Whatever you'd like.
Hey JB, hey Josh,
Okay.
my name's Casey, I'm
So,
from Boston.
I wanted to come back and share that with you guys. And I love that JB said that. They are going to verify it themselves before they put it out. There's a lot of things that are being reported that aren't true. So, and just like my channel here, I'm not putting anything out or allowing anything to be posted without it being verified. So let the others post and report whatever they want to post and report. I've seen a lot of thumbnails out there. Brian Landrie body found, Brian found, Brian. That is not verified. The only thing that we know is that there were items found. And I know a lot of people are going to jump on the bandwagon to try and get all the views and whatever saying, Brian's found. He's not been found, as we know right now. Okay. I'm going to jump right back in here because there is some news, and I'm going to share this with you right now. Breaking news coming out, you guys. I'm going to crank up the volume. Here it is.
Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here's JB Buno.
Partial human remains found here in the search area for Brian Landrie. A senior law enforcement official telling NBC News that what appears to be partial human remains have been found at the Carlton Reserve in an area that was previously underwater. The remains were found near a backpack consistent with items that Brian Landrie may have used. Again, this breaking news report coming from NBC News. Hey, folks, JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now, breaking this news here to a new audience joining us here. Everybody on WFLA Now, we've been live for now. Let's just have the number here right. Last 2 hours and about 15 minutes or so. But yet another significant development. It is news that that is going to be received by so many different people in so many different ways. But it's news that might get us a little bit closer to the answer on what happened to Brian Landrie. Partial human remains found in the Landrie search area. We are getting closer to Eagle 8 HD being back in the air and providing us with new images here, new live aerial video that we can bring you. But partial human remains have been found in the Landrie search area. And Masa, the big thing here as well is that in addition to the partial human remains, this backpack that we're now getting information on, the remains were found near a backpack consistent with items that Brian Landrie may have used.
Yeah, and this is according to reporting from Pete Williams from NBC. So a senior reporter, a very well-sourced reporter, and he has confirmed with a senior law enforcement official that the remains were found near a backpack, as JB just said, consistent with items that Brian Landrie may have had. So we know from our reporting that Chris and Roberta
Thanks,
Landrie
sis.
discovered, quote, articles belonging to Brian Landrie. We weren't able to get any further information from Stephen Bertolino about what those
So this
articles
is-
may have been.
This is
but
what,
now we have
okay,
Pete.
let's pause this for a minute. So this is what's going to happen, you guys, is they are going to do DNA testing and whatever testing they can on those partial human remains that were found to see if that is actually Brian. Could my reads be totally wrong? Absolutely. Being that these remains were hidden under flooded areas should not change my read. So is my read totally wrong? Did I get totally wrong information this time? Absolutely. It's not verified yet if this is the remains of Brian Landrie. We just don't know. Is it looking like it probably is, with the bag being found with stuff that was his? Absolutely. Right? Summer Dawn says, Willow, gators take their food into water. Yeah. So, I mean, until we get verified information that this is Brian, could this all totally still be a setup? It could. Am I leaning that way? I'm not so sure anymore. I really am not. And and I have told everybody, if I am wrong, I have no problem saying I'm wrong. Thank you for all those modified cuss words. Could I have been so off on this read? Absolutely. But like I said, until I recall a boat in your read too, right? Was that a possible clue? I don't know. I don't really remember what came out in reads except for key things tend to stick with me. My memory's not that good to begin with, but I do know that my reads were saying right up until the pendulum yesterday saying that he was still alive. So I haven't done any questioning on that this morning. So could this be Brian? It could very well be, and I could have been totally wrong. And I'm a big enough person to admit if I am wrong, but I want to wait and see. Could this also be, I just still find this fishy, that the park opens yesterday. The parents call the police and say, they want to go and search. They go directly to an area that was searched before and they find things of Brian's and now partial human remains. Do I find that all fishy? Absolutely, I do. Could the water have an issue with reads? There could be a lot of factors why I got it wrong, you guys. It could be because I still wasn't 100%, but I'm not going to blame it on anything, because I chose to do the reads that I did, etc. So if I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong. I don't know. I've got just, my stomach is right now, I'm in, how can I say that? I'm in a state of really questioning myself and what I was getting from my ancestors. Did I get it wrong? Were they trying to show me things that I wasn't getting? I don't know. So we still don't know if this is actually Brian. Could this still be an elaborate setup? Hey, we'll throw his bag there. We'll throw some bones. But these are partial human remains that were found in the area that they were searching. So let's continue.
Williams from NBC talking with one senior law enforcement official, and basically reporting that a backpack consistent with items that Brian Landrie may have had. The backpack has been discovered, and now we are hearing again from NBC that partial human remains have.
Epiphany Tarrant says, did you do the read about him faking his death? No. One reader said he'd soon be found, but not enough to confirm dead or alive. I think in one of my reads, I think he had choices. I'm hoping that this is the read. But I do remember something about, and I do believe that it was Brian, that he had choices. And he was going to be making, I think that was a couple of weeks ago. One of the reads is either he was going to kill himself, he was going to continue to run, or he was going to give himself up. I did not get that the police were actually going to go someplace and find him. I got that he was going to choose one of those three options. So did he kill himself? I don't know. We don't have enough information yet as to if this is his human remains that were found. How long have they been there? You know what I mean? We don't have enough information yet. So, but no, that is also, though, Epiphany Terrell, that is also very possible that these remains are someone else's and that they were trying to fake his death so he could get away. We don't know. Okay. Janice, I can't say that I'm always correct because I have a very uneasy feeling about this right now, but I want to go back and see that read that I did, because I do remember saying that he's at a point where he's getting frustrated and everything, and he's going to make a choice. And I believe that choice in that read, the choice said that within 3 days he was going to make a choice. So I want to see when I did that read, and if these are Brian's remains, how long has he been deceased? So that's what I'm anxious. But the first thing we need to figure out, you guys, is, are these actually Brian's remains? Okay, so let's go back to this.
Have been found in an area that was previously underwater. As you heard JB mentioned during our last hour, we have seen a lot of the water dry up in this area.
Okay,
so certainly
Shivani,
that is something that is very helpful to the search. We know that
okay,
the
so
Pasco County Sheriff's
Shivani
Office
says she remembers me doing a read about Landrie facing his choices. Yeah,
remains.
and that was a while back. Yeah, I want to go and reread that. Re-see it.
That was leading the investigation. Now this is an FBI-led investigation. We know the Northport Police Department did call in the medical examiner.
Okay, so Dawn
and
remembers
now
that
Pete
read
Williams
too.
from NBC reporting that partial human remains have been found next to a backpack consistent with items that Brian Landrie may have had. This is happening on
Yeah, and I could have
20th,
very well interpreted things wrong, but
more
I
than a
do
month
remember something in that read
after
saying
Brian Landrie
he's going to make a
parked that
choice within
Mustang,
3 days.
according to his
So I want to go
family,
back and
and
see
got
when
out
that read
over the
was,
scene
and
that
if
you're
this
looking at
is
right
his partial
Now,
remains,
that's exactly what I
how
want to talk
long
about
has
here.
it
Let's
been
talk
there?
about exactly what we're looking at here, video-wise from. I'm sorry.
Just the
thank you.
Landrie's misspelled.
Yep, let's fix that. Thank you. So what we're looking at here in the Senate, this is
That's
Luke's video
interesting,
now.
Epiphany.
Luke's video of a tent that went up. I guess it was this morning or this afternoon. It was right in the middle of our stream when Jim Hockett, our photojournalist in Eagle 8 HD, our news chopper, said, "Hey, in the last 5 minutes, they put
Yes,
up a
Caroline.
tent."
I
And that was
remember 3
significant,
choices he's got to
we
choose
didn't
for
know
those
really
3
how
choices
significant it
within
was
3 days.
because could the tent have just been put up for? We don't know exactly what the reason was at the time as far as the tent going up, but it was very curious. And the tent
can't
is
see
up
chat
here,
right now, you guys, because
and
I'm
this
looking
is
at.
this could be the focal point of this breaking news development that partial human remains have been found in the Landrie search area, and that it was near a backpack consistent with these articles, right? These articles that were said to have belonged to
find that
Brian
read.
Landrie. I want to
And Stephen
ask this
Bertolino,
question.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I just contacted Stephen Bertolino again, and I asked him about this reporting of Pete Williams that partial human remains have been found, and he said no comments. I'm going to stop texting him for the day.
Okay, so there was one
the Landrie
September
family attorney that
25th.
is, usually often answers questions. He has stopped answering questions for the day. He has no comments.
On
I will stop
October
contacting him,
4th.
but just wanted to give you that update, JB. Sorry to interrupt.
Here's what I want to ask.
And
to
then
our
October
audience.
10th.
And I'm going to start taking.
So I'll have to go back and look over those
#HeyJB,
reads.
Hashtag Hey Masa questions now, or really answers. Your hashtag HeyJB questions, excuse me, your hashtag HeyJB, hashtag Hey Masa answers to this question in particular. And I want to ask you, everyone to you can use hashtag HeyJB, hashtag Hey Masa across Facebook,
Yeah,
Twitter, or
I
YouTube.
remember
Those three
that
places you
domestic
can animate your
goddess,
comment on screen.
but I don't know which
And
one
it's
that was
this.
in.
Where does everybody feel right now as far as the Justice for Gabby movement? Let's not forget that this is a story that we have all been following because of Gabby Petito, and because so many people, including myself, just want to know what
So the 10th,
happened.
so that's 10 days ago.
What is the truth? What are the facts? Are we closer to getting facts? Are we closer to getting answers? Are we closer to getting the truth now, or are we farther with these new developments? I'd like to hear from our audience who have been
I'm
interacting
going to
with.
pause this again because, you guys, if this is Brian that is found, that is bad news. If this is his remains that are found, this is very bad news, which means he's taking all the answers to the grave with him. Hang on a second. Gabby's family will never get answers. No, she will never be forgotten, but there's answers that Brian could have given. If this was, Tiffany said October 9th and 10th were dates that came in my read as well. Time frame dates for cards was 9, 10, 15, 18, 20th. Yeah. He's going to take these, if, like I said, we don't know if these partial human remains that were found are actually Brian, but if they are, you guys, that means nobody is going to get any answers as to why Gabby was killed. They're not going to get those answers unless he's left some kind of note or something behind explaining or admitting or detailing why. There's not exactly Northern Ashakila. There will be no justice. Gabby's family is never going to know why. They're going to know who, but they're not going to know why. So if this guy, if this is Brian's partial remains that are found, I pray that he left, even in a Ziploc bag in that backpack, this is why. This is what happened. Something to give Gabby's family closure, to give them why he did this. I hope that he had an inch of decency in his body to give them the answers that they deserve. I hope. We don't know yet what is inside that bag that they have found. Let's not. Okay, Northern Alaska said there was a suicide note found. Let's not. I don't have that yet, but if there was, I hope to God that he left something to explain why he did what he did. Let's go back.
Over the last month plus, audience members who have been following every stream, some of you, every single stream that we have been on here, I'm asking you this question. Where are we right now as far as getting justice for Gabby?
Yes,
Petito?
domestic goddess.
I'd like
there.
to ask that, and we'll start to feature your hashtag HJB, hashtag HMASA questions and comments, or those answers coming in now. But Masa, do you want to chime in before we start?
Remember in that read, though, I said I seen bloody handprints?
I think the fact that human remains
That I
have
thought
been
that he
found
had
now
been
in the
injured.
search area, I think that is obviously a huge development. The fact that articles belonging to Brian
so the mother
Landrie
is
have
back
been
home.
found, according to Stephen Bertolino, that is a huge development. Again, I will not be the one to get ahead and, you know, say that Brian Landrie, it seems like if we're getting closer to finding information out about a person of interest in this case. Okay.
The picture
Brian
that I
Landrie,
showed was
what we can safely say is law enforcement believes that he has information. So the fact that there's all this development with,
hang on,
you know, finding articles that belong to him, that we can place him at this location, that would certainly be one step closer to getting justice for Gabby Petito. But law enforcement has said nothing other than, you know, Brian Landrie is a person of interest in this case, that he's wanted for debit card fraud, for using Gabby Petito's debit card after she went missing, after he departed away from her between August 27th to August.
These comments are very interesting. I see them already starting to come in. We're going to start to feature some of them. Let's just preface this by saying that we do not know.
Emery saying, can I get an apology? I didn't say anything wrong. I'm a good subscriber and that was rude. What are you talking about?
That Brian Landrie had direct connection to Gabby Petito's death. We still don't know that answer. That's what I'm saying, folks. I want answers. You want answers. We want the truth. We want to know exactly what happened. And I don't know these new developments now. Masa, let me just kind of, we're going to animate these comments. I'm giving everybody another moment here because there's some people that type a little bit slower into their keyboards, or they're writing a very eloquent response, and maybe it's more of a paragraph, but I want to give everybody the opportunity to respond here. There are so many people overwhelmingly that have said to this point that they thought that Brian Landrie was going to be found alive.
Right.
And we can't say definitively whether or not.
Absolutely.
Again, partial
this
human
could be somebody else's remains, and it could have been left by
there are just so
Brian's stuff.
many
We don't know yet, so
that
we're not going to say that this is Brian yet until we hear it verified.
And at a loss for words because they were so certain that Brian was going to be found alive. And here we are, and now this news tips the scale a bit as far as whether or not Brian Landrie is going to be found alive.
He could still be found alive, yep, because there's no identification of anything at this point, but I understand what you're saying, absolutely.
So let's get to some of the questions and comments, and then what we'll do. Actually, the time is 2:00. We have to, I think, swap you out for.
I have to go. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We appreciate all of your comments. We hope that you appreciate our reporting.
I gotta swap you out. What a way of saying it.
For our shows on Channel 8 at 4, 5, and 6. We have live team coverage for you, so I do hope you'll tune in. And I'll hand it over to our investigator, Walt Plateau. Hi, Walt, my friend.
Well, you guys are gonna have to switch seats. I think you're gonna have to switch seats.
Emre, it's because
Welcome
it was
to live
not
streaming, folks.
Okay, let me just Emre, to answer you, I'm the one that timed you out, and I said that I did not want anything put into the chat that had not been verified yet. That had not been verified, and I still haven't heard anything about that yet. So that's why you were timed out, because you were asked not to put stuff in chat that had not come out yet and was not verified yet. It's nothing personal. It was everybody in chat was asked, do not put stuff into chat that is not verified yet. So that's why you were timed out.
Everybody, welcome into our stream. 8 on your side, senior investigator Walt.
Princess,
Buteau.
I got to go back and look at those.
Surprising development, obviously, because it's sort of, I think by Monday and Tuesday, the headlines had sort of become, real sort of, for lack of a better word, fringe type stories. Like people were searching for angles, if you will, and it seemed like the search had died down. And then out of nowhere today, what a development.
I'm going to pause this, you guys, and go forward a bit. and see if they're just repeating things that have
these
already been
moments,
said.
because it could help us channel energy towards future solutions to prevent future tragedies. Let's get to some more of the questions and comments that are coming in. Rachel Elizabeth, hashtag HJB. I think this is a...
Okay, well, you lost a subscriber and that thumbs down. Oh, thank you. Emery, I mean, you are entitled to do whatever you want to do. I'm sorry if you don't feel that what I asked did not apply to you. Everybody else has been so respectful in chat. But thank you for letting me know I lost a subscriber, because I asked for the same respect that I give my subscribers. And that thumbs down, thank you. It still is good for me. So bye-bye. Let me just see something here, you guys. Okay. So let's get back. Now that that is out of the way, anybody that does not agree with the way I run my channel, I'm not going to apologize for it. I think all my subscribers here like the fact that I don't put anything out that is not verified. Sorry that some people just need that 2 minutes of fame to say, hey, look at, I told you first. And because there's been a lot of incidences where people have done that and then it comes back and it's not true. And then people are saying, but this came out on your channel. Well, I'm not going to have that. So if you don't like the way I run it, hey, no hard feelings. Unsubscribe, go wherever else you want to go, whatever. Give me a thumbs down, whatever you need to do. That's on you. That's not on me. I ask for the same respect that I give to my subscribers. So if you don't like it, it's not my problem. It's my channel. I'm going to run it the way I want to, and it's going to be verified information and facts only. So there you go. Today's not the day to get me. I'm in a grouchy mood today because I'm not feeling good to begin with. So continue on. What if you took, oh my God, Bianca, I don't even want to think about that. Bianca says, what if he took a body part of Gabby and that's what they found? Oh, I don't even want to think about that. Like I said, thank you very much, Painted Pony. I appreciate you too. Like I said, we don't know yet, so I don't want to speculate. I'm not going to let anybody else speculate. It is what it is. I want verified information only. So there's lots of channels that you guys can go and watch if you don't like the way I run it here, but I give you guys respect and I just ask for the same thing back. Oh, Amy, can you imagine? Can you imagine if he did something like that? Okay, so now I'm getting off topic here. Let me just see.
I get it. It's frustrating.
A half minutes ago.
The FBI has used Twitter a lot in this case. I believe they.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that for a minute. I'm going to still listen in the background, you guys, because I want to go over here and see what is going on. Oh, what did I just do? Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'll share this with you guys, because this is something else that I'm watching too. I don't know if you guys are interested in it, but I'm also watching this. So they are up in this area, up in here where the roads meet, somewhere up in here. So I'm trying to look to see where the chopper is. Okay. Okay, I'm going to jump back, you guys. But one helicopter is left. Another one is coming.
I have it here across my screens. Comments, people were saying that, the items, the articles that Stephen Bertolino is referring to could have been planted by Chris and Roberta Landrie to throw off law enforcement as far as the search for their son, Brian. And now that we have these partial, or what appears to be partial, human remains found here, I don't see any comments like that anymore. That it was deliberate, that it was intentional, that it was
I'm still saying
intended misdirection.
It could be.
I just don't see anything like that anymore. As we're awaiting some.
It could be an
Walt,
arm bone, a foot bone. It could be anything, Cindy.
So let me bring everybody up to date. This morning, the FBI reported that some items of interest were found in the. I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. The Myakahatchee Creek Environmental Park. That is right next to Carlton Reserve. I believe they're actually connected, so to speak, or adjacent to each other. We can tell you the size of that park is 160 acres, heavily wooded.
Thank you very much, LaDonna.
The FBI is talking about finding a backpack with items that seem to be consistent with things that Brian would have. And then now we hear from NBC reporting that human remains were found near the backpack. Also, the family of Brian Landrie was out there this morning, and the
Thank you so much, Corey.
In that case, released a statement that I'm going to read to you here in 2 seconds. Stephen Bertolino writing. Let me pull it up. Come on. Stephen Bertolino writing. It's not responding. Stephen Bertolino, though, detailed exactly what the parents were doing out there this morning.
Okay, so we'll pause that right now because I want to address that. And that's exactly what I mean, Corey, when I say here, people can get peeved off at me because I've removed comments or whatever. They can get as peeved off at me as they want. But right from the beginning this morning, when I jumped back on, because I had other things to do this afternoon and I decided to bring this to you guys because you want to hear it. So the thing that I ask, please don't put anything out there that you have not heard here first. I'm following this channel because I trust WFLA. Okay. They verify things before they put it out, just like I do. So if they put something out, I know that they have verified it over and over again, and it's going to be the truth. So that's why I have asked. So I'm really glad, Corey, that you put this here. People that don't like it can go and watch somewhere else. I want to know that when you hear stuff here, that this is verified. It's not made up. It's not a suspicion. It's verified. So thank you very much, Corey, for that. I appreciate you so much. Oh, thank you, Kaden. I appreciate you guys. Oh, you guys are too kind. Thank you. But yeah, so it's like, if I've asked that, I respect you guys. And when things have come out like this, hey, I haven't said to anybody, hey, don't comment on that yet. It's being told that there are partial human remains. We're allowed to talk about that now because now it's been verified. I just don't like putting anything out there that can be misconstrued, that could be a lie, that could be made up before it is verified. So people know when they come to my channel, they're going to hear verified information, and that's it. There's not going to be no speculation, no rumor, no this, no that. And I can't be accused of putting that out there. So thank you very much for everybody that does understand it and respects that, like I respect you enough to tell you guys I will only give you verified information. So thank you for that. Yes, I have the best subscribers and best people in chat. Do we get some trolls? Absolutely, we do. Do we have some subscribers like one that just said, I was subscribed to you, but I don't like that my comment was removed? Then you couldn't have really liked my channel in the first place, because my channel only puts out verified information when stuff like this happens. So you're actually contradicting yourself. You can't say that you love my channel and then say, well, I'm leaving and I'm unsubscribing because you took a comment out that wasn't verified yet. Sorry, not sorry. So let's get back to this, you guys. Verified information coming out. Yes, helicopter should be back very shortly.
And
let me put that over here,
afternoon or late morning,
so
really.
I can watch
we broke
that.
The story, at least locally, that
Oops, what the
seemed
heck
like
am
this
I
activity
doing?
had picked up
Sorry, you
to a
guys.
great extent there in Waxahachie River, the River Creek area, which again, right next to Carlton Reserve. They touch each other. Carlton Reserve, 25,000 square acres, I believe, and this one is 100
Sarah.
or acres, I should say, and this one is 160 acres. So it's dwarfed by the other location,
Jesse,
but they end up finding these.
It has not been confirmed to be Brian's body.
Was wet, not wet anymore.
So that is going to be
fact
removed.
The water receded could be the key development that Mother Nature.
Nothing has been confirmed whose body that is, and that probably will not be done for days.
I think that it's not lost on any of us here in the
Thank you,
conversations
Caden.
for the first time in more than 2 hours, actually just leaving my chair and having some conversations. It's not lost on anybody that
Now, let's not even put that in chat, Corey H, because I cannot confirm it. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to take a few days for the coroner to run DNA testing to see whose body that is. So if anybody is putting out there right now, oh, it's Brian Landrie, because it's partial human remains. So if anybody is saying, oh, from law enforcement or whatever, it's been confirmed it's Brian Landrie, they can't do that, because it's going to take days for the coroner to say yes or no whether this is Brian or not. Just like when they found Gabby's remains, it took a while to confirm that it was Gabby.
Do they believe that these remains are Brian Landrie's? Right now, we only know the proximity of the remains found near a backpack that had items that would that might have been Brian Landrie's. The parents were out there to possibly identify.
Thank you so much, Amy.
We know that. But one thing we will find out after we find out who these remains are, we'll also find out a theory about how long the remains have been there. And that's going to be very interesting, right?
Luzon, absolutely. I 100% agree. I hope
time of death, it seems,
I hope that he has left an explanation as to why he killed Gabby. I hope he has at least a little bit of decency in that body of his to have left them some kind of a reason.
Started using what we now know is Gabby Petito's debit card. So if they're able to do that, I think the same thing will happen here. We'll have some knowledge about a theory about when these remains.
Thank you, Sarah.
Perished.
I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you that understand why I keep this to facts. Okay, listen.
Visually, Eagle 8 HD, back in the air.
I'm going to turn this up for you.
To the scene. Folks, let me explain how this is going
Eagle
to
8
work.
is on its way
We
back.
have to reset as far as our live stream here on WFLA now. So let me explain how this is going to work. YouTube, we're not going anywhere. WFLA.com, we're not going anywhere. We're staying live. The WFLA app, if you're watching on the WFLA app, we're not going anywhere.
Thank you, you guys.
To our Facebook audience, we are ending a stream here. We're ending the current live stream. We have to do that. There's reasons why we end in certain places, begin in others, and there's folks way smarter than myself that understand the purposes behind that. But it's always about engaging an audience
jump ahead.
And as many people.
So they are basically, I will turn the volume back on, you guys, when the helicopter gets there. I will keep it on minimum for me. Once the helicopter Eagle 8 gets back over the area, we will jump back into this and I will turn up the volume. So yes, let's discuss that because, oh, thank you, Loza. Oh, you're so kind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every little bit helps. Thank you. And yes, I want this channel to be positive. I want it to be factual and stuff like that. Like once things come out, you guys, and it's been reported on here, go ahead and talk about it. I just don't want things like, look at what we're already getting. Somebody else is saying, oh, it's confirmed it's Brian Landrie. There is no way in hell that they can confirm that it is him yet, especially with partial remains. Yes, there's nothing going to justify a murder, but I hope that he has at least left something to say why he did it. Kimmy, you are very welcome, my dear. And thank all of you. And again, Lozo, please, thank you for that super chat. I very much appreciate it. I try to do my best with getting things out to you guys as they're happening, with information that is being released. But I can I can guarantee you it takes a couple of days to verify if that is Brian, if the partial human remains that have been found, if those are Brian's. And I'm going to put it out there, you guys. This could very well be another diversion. Like somebody, like they're searching for you. They're searching for you. We're going to throw this there. Or him thinking, okay, maybe he found remains of somebody else. We don't know, you guys. He could have left stuff that he didn't need anymore in that backpack with maybe human remains, or where he had seen human remains. He could have, for all we know, and this is just hypothetical, he could have harmed somebody else. And that could be that person's human remains and him leaving his backpack there thinking, okay, they're going to think I'm dead and they'll stop looking for me. We don't know, you guys. Until they can confirm whose remains these are, we can only speculate. There's so many things that could be going on. They apparently, Amy, they did confirm that they were items of Brian's. So I would assume that, and I'm only assuming, that they probably showed these items to Roberta and Chris and said, are these Brian's? And they say, yes. They could be lying for all we know. Anything, you guys, is possible at this point. We do know there was another other information that came out. Oh, there was another guy that was wanted that was found dead in the reserve. No, he was found outside of the reserve. So could these humans remains, these partial human remains, be of somebody else? Absolutely. Could they be Brian? Absolutely. We do not know at this point. Could Brian have come across other human remains and decided to leave some of his stuff there thinking, if I leave my stuff here, they find remains, they're going to stop looking for me? It could be anything. It could be anything. We don't know, Rosie, what he had in that bag. Like I said, that bag could very well be Brian's. But are those human remains Brian's? We don't know. This could be so many different things. It could absolutely be him. It could absolutely be the remains of somebody else that he used to his advantage by leaving some of his stuff there so the authorities would stop looking for him. It could be so many different things. And that's why I don't like speculation or false information on this channel. Whoever is reporting that it has been confirmed that the remains found are Brian Landrie's, unless they are doing DNA right there on site, which I don't think they could do that there, or something that, but I still can't see the police releasing that. Even say they had his hand with that tattoo on it. We know that there's quite a few people that have that tattoo. We've seen it in different pictures. They still would need, before they would say that it was Brian, they would do DNA analysts. Yes, Amy, DNA analysts would be done. Okay, I have not heard that being said, Rosie. But that very well could be true, that something of Gabby's was found in that bag too. But what I'm saying is, we don't know if these partial human remains found are in fact Brian. A lot of people are missing in Florida. It could have been another body that he came across. And I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm saying it's possible. And he left that bag there thinking, I'll leave my stuff there. They'll think that's me and they'll stop looking for me. Anything is possible at this point. And until the coroner confirms that that is Brian, I'm not listening to what any other channel is saying. And I'm guaranteeing you, WFLA is not going to say something like that unless they have confirmation that it has been confirmed by the coroner or law enforcement that that is actually Brian. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to show you this now. I'm sorry for the cough. Sorry, you guys, I did mute myself. Okay. Okay, so here it is, you guys. The chopper is back. I'm going to put that over here. The chopper is back in the area. It is right here. So with the chopper being back in the area again, I am going to assume that WFLA will be coming back. So let's go back to that right now, because I do believe that they are back up over the area. Okay, here we go, you guys. This is the chopper now back up over the area. Oh, my allergies are gone through the roof right now, Shandon. It's horrible. John, yes, I do know that they're back. I've been keeping an eye on it. I have it in my ear. The chopper is back over the area. We will wait for JB to come back on. Michelle, I'm with you there. We have not seen that yet, Shelby. So I have no idea of knowing that. And until it's reported by the WFLA, I'm not going to be commenting on it. Anything, yes. Just like my sister said, honestly, at this point, anything is possible. Okay, I hear them coming back, you guys. And thank you for that, Cindy. Okay, Eagle 8 is speaking again. And thank you, whoever that was that did the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll do the best we can. There's only like one little hole between the trees to see it, so it's a matter of getting lined up just right.
Okay, so Eagle 8 looks like he's trying to get lined up so he can show the area again. This is from earlier, you guys. And here they are live. So I believe it's down in this area somewhere here. And they're trying to get, I believe it's right in here. There it is. It is. It's so, the trees are so close together there that it's hard to get a visual.
WFLA now will begin momentarily.
So it's going to start again momentarily, you guys. Yeah, can you imagine what's going to be made about this film-wise and stuff? So another 30 seconds, you guys, and they will be back live. Oh, there's another tent further out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like something else is happening here. You guys are going further out with the tent. Could very well be that more was found by the looks of it, because they are putting that tent in there. So it is looking like there is another area that they are covering up. And I would assume that this is something the dogs found.
Streaming live on WFLA Now, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY. Here's JB Buno.
Live from Eagle 8 HD, law enforcement officials searching for Brian Landrie, finding what appears to be partial human remains here at the Carlton Reserve. According to NBC News, the remains found near a backpack consistent with items that Landrie may have used, and they were found in an area that was previously searched and believed to be previously searched and believed to be previously underwater. Live here, everybody, from Eagle 8 HD on WFLA Now. We have, of course, 8 on your side, senior investigator Walt Buteau, JB Buno here with you live, again here with you on stream, and engaging a new digital audience here on Facebook. You can use hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyWalt. We can feature your comments and questions here in the Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter
here we are,
comment
you guys.
sections here. And now
We're
a
live
second
again.
tent, Walt, appears to be constructed here, or in the process of being constructed. But there's this tent, and there's another tent, a white tent, that law enforcement officials are paying a whole lot of attention to, an area that now, after, of course, NBC News
And you can
sharing
see
the news that
the trail there where they were driving
have been
down.
found, or what appears to be partial human remains, a lot of attention being combed, or at least a lot of attention being paid to in this area where these tents are being erected.
Yeah, very interesting that they would move this. The other tent is sort of in a between two stands of trees. This tent moved to a different area. We do not know the perspective between the two locations, and this just happened. Literally, as we came on the air, this just happened. This blue tent that looks like it is sort of half in the ground, if you will, but obviously not flat ground out there. This is in this area next to Carlton Reserve. We believe 160-acre area, much smaller than Carlton Reserve, and that's where these remains were found, in an area that had been previously underwater, according to NBC News. And that is interesting. Nobody's there.
Nobody's there at this tent, so I think this could be just a
very well may
diversion.
see what they're able to do or what they plan on doing in that particular area.
Jim, this is our photojournalist Jim
To maybe
Hockett
keep
here
the
in
chopper
Eagle
away
HD.
from the
Jim,
actual
it's JB.
area,
If
maybe?
There's a chance you could show us back to the white tent area. I know that it's really difficult to see. I know that it's really difficult to see through the trees there, but if we can, let's try to show
There it is,
where
right
most of the
here.
law enforcement activity is.
It's
Okay,
right
so
in
there
here.
you see it. There you see it here, folks. The blue tent that was set up there in that open field, not too far away from the white tent, and now a second tent adjacent to the first one that has been set up. And really, these trees make it extremely difficult to see exactly what has been found, but it might be something that perhaps law enforcement wouldn't want us to see to begin with. Well,
Very common, and it could also be a work area. It's 85 degrees out there. They're in the middle of the woods. Definitely a painstaking process when remains are found. It's
quite the distance, you guys, from
area, and now they seem to be yellow. Is that yellow?
Yellow tape's going up.
That is police tape now going up, and it looks like they are establishing an area, a perimeter, to prevent anybody from coming. Not that the park is.
That's very interesting.
Very interesting, because the park is closed. They're not letting anybody in, but it just goes to show how much they are doing this textbook as far as ensuring that nobody steps into this area that could contaminate a scene that is now going to be quite literally microscopically dissected. We are hearing, of course, reports out there that are circulating that forensics teams are out there. I can assure you that, or I can pass along.
Maybe that tent was put up there so they could just cordon off this area.
3 minutes before, not even, maybe a minute and a half to 3 minutes before we began this stream for our new Facebook Live audience, that there was another vehicle, another mobile command style vehicle that went into the Carlton Reserve. It was the biggest one we've seen yet.
It looks like they're using that tent as a way to cordon off the area.
That's what I just said.
The tree there, they come around the tent. It does not look like they need the tent to cover anything. Yeah. It is simply a way, almost like a fence post, so that they can protect a particular area. And if we're going to do some presuming here, we can think that they have remains in one area and perhaps want to make sure that if bones were carried off, they have a safe perimeter where they don't want anyone to walk. I don't think they're worried about the general public out there. I think they're worried about other officers. And now they can search that one area. I don't know how you calculate something like that. A forensic expert would be able to tell us that. How big of an area do you worry about bones being taken?
Could very well be. We don't know.
This is horrible to talk about, but bones being taken after the person has died. How big of an area do you need to cordon off in order to find other remains?
Very clear now to us the intention of the blue tent, obviously. I think it goes without saying, but I will say it to our
YouTube user,
audience.
I have no idea what you're talking about a bike, because we've heard nothing about a bike.
For the intention as being a weight for the tape, a tent,
a post,
if you will, thank you, that has been set up. So they have cordoned off this area. But again, it's somewhat of a moot point, because we're talking about an area that is closed off to the public. But I think
they're worried about officers.
I think that's exactly what I was going to say next. There's so many different agencies involved. Let's just kind of backtrack. We've heard about Pasco County being involved. Of course, Sarasota County, Northport Police, the FBI, Lee County has been called into the scene here. You can see there, it's hard to see Jim trying to give us a good vantage
Okay, so sorry, you guys. That was the government vehicles that were entering the reserve just moments ago. I'm just looking to see if I've got anything else here that I can share with you guys before we jump back to WFLA Live. So, with the items of interest that were located there this morning, FBI evidence response team is processing the scene, and the FBI is not giving any further details. But the FBI is now on scene too. Let me see. I'm just jumping around, you guys, trying to find all the updated information that I can verify. Just give me a second. So it's being reported that the partial remains that were found near a backpack consistent with items Brian Landrie may have had. So the only one that is saying at this point that has come that I can verify, the only one who has said that those are Brian's came from the Landrie attorney. So we know that the medical examiner was there, the cadaver dogs were there. And we are getting information also that there was also clothing found. It has not been confirmed yet that the clothing that was found is actually Brian's. The coroner was called in to identify whether the bones were human or animal, and they have been confirmed as partial human remains. So the cadaver dogs were brought in to search the area for more remains. So that's what I have right now. So let's jump back over to the live and see if we have anything more updating there. And here we are.
The trees. That's another police tent that's been erected. So there's so many different teams on the ground now that this is just to ensure that anybody that approaches the scene, whether it's a detective, whether it's a federal agent, whomever it might be, a forensic examiner or a medical examiner or the coroner and him or herself, that they do not step in an area that they shouldn't be stepping in. And again, look at how wide of an area they have partitioned off here, Walt. It's pretty interesting.
Well, I think Jim might be able to give us a better idea from the sky of how large of an area that is. I think it looks probably smaller than it really is to us. A wider shot probably shows us how large of an area it is, but it is definitely a pretty extensive area. As he pulls out there, you can see the white tent, and it would seem the logic would be that they're going to circle that area. Very good shot there by Jim Hockett in the sky with Eagle 8.
And that's the area that we can say with confidence has received the most attention from law enforcement, the most attention from officials on scene. And it just so happens to be in a very wooded area. And we don't know at this time that is where the partial human remains were found. We don't know if that's an area where the belongings, the backpack belongings that the NBC News report mentioned, whether that's that area, or this could be several different areas that we're talking about here. But we know that by far,
Glow, the
most
thing
activity
is
being
they
paid
can't
here to
make
this one
the
area
parents take a
that is
polygraph.
shrouded
They can't
by
make anybody
this tree
take a
line.
polygraph.
And right, and a really good point. We've seen
Nice, Rosie.
officers under the white tent.
Okay, I'm
So
going
we do
to
not
mute
know
for a
if
minute,
that
you
where the
guys, because I'm
remains
going to go
are,
and
or is
check
that where they're
other
processing
places
the
and see
remains.
what we can get.
I mean, we could make a guess, but obviously we don't know. We do know, though, the area that the remains were found. We're told the area where the remains were found had been wet and had since dried out. Dry weather, as you pointed out, JB, very much helped reveal these human remains. And we don't know how long that particular body has been dead, and we don't know exactly who the body is, but we do know it was found near a backpack that has been identified as something that would be consistent with something Brian Landrie would have had.
There have been questions for weeks now. Who was going to be the person to provide the information or provide assistance, provide the break that this case needed to find Brian Landrie? We've been talking about hikers on the Appalachian Trail. We were talking about trail cam video in Alabama and trail cam video
Here.
or sightings locally.
Yeah, Carlton
here.
Reserve.
There were people in Canada saying that looks like Brian. There were people in Mexico saying this looked like Brian. And all
Everybody
along,
insisted,
what's incredible to me, Walt, is that all along, the one who was able to provide perhaps the biggest break in this case is Mother Nature. Just by allowing these waters to recede to a level that these new items have been discovered, and now we have the report that partial human remains have been discovered. But Mother Nature not dumping water here over the course of October. And yes, there's been precipitation, but not anywhere close to what we saw in September.
No.
October has been in large part a very dry month here in the Tampa Bay area, very large in part a dry month for Sarasota County, and Mother Nature not dumping all of this water, allowing all of that swampy wetland water to recede. Now we have these developments here today.
And that is the key. And I think a lot of other people had insisted to me personally, privately, hits on Twitter, on Facebook, insisted there was no, and again, maybe they're still right, but insisted there was no way Brian Landrie was still in there, insisted that somebody helped him get out of the country. And again, let's point this out. Let's be very clear that we do not know if this is Brian Landrie. We do not know this is Brian Landrie.
And let me also remind everybody that early on in this process, this is an inconvenient truth, but it's a truth nonetheless, that early on in this process, there was a body found at the Carlton Reserve.
Right.
And they quickly determined that it wasn't Brian Landrie.
That's right.
Now, listen, we have partial human remains here. We have at least 5, perhaps 6 or more law enforcement agencies descending here upon the scene. There's a backpack involved there, and the articles that Stephen Bertolino first confirmed and then would later get confirmed and tweeted out by the FBI. These are all developments that point to this being something directly connected with Brian Landrie's whereabouts. But we cannot rush to that conclusion until we have it, of course, from the FBI or from local law enforcement or from somebody here at the scene. But for what it's worth, folks, what appears to be partial human remains have been found in the Landrie search area, in an area that was believed to be previously underwater, and an area near a backpack with items that, yes, according to the reports, belonged to Brian Landrie. This all coming, Walt, after Chris and Roberta Landrie were said to be there this morning searching the Carlton Reserve.
And it's worth repeating, the update from the FBI came 42 minutes ago on Twitter. Items of interest, these are the exact words of the FBI. Items of interest were located at the Carlton Reserve this morning in connection with the search for Brian Landrie. An FBI evidence response team is processing the scene. That's what we're seeing live there, thanks to Eagle 8 and Jim Hockett, our photographer, investigative photographer. And the reserve is closed to the public, and no further details are available at this time. And then we know from NBC, or we hear from NBC, that, again, human remains are involved. Let's be clear about that. The FBI has not acknowledged anything, I don't believe, about human remains, just that items of interest were located at the Carlton Reserve.
Let's also break down a word that's on our screen here that we can't ignore because it's curious and it's worth a conversation. And speaking of conversation, we're going to feature your hashtag Hey Walt as we do hashtag Hey JB questions and comments here on screen in a bit. But the word I want to focus in on is Eagle 8 HD is live right now at the time now 2:53 Eastern, live right now over Myakkahatchee, over this area. But the word I want to focus in on is partial.
Right.
Partial
Important.
human remains.
That's right.
What does that mean? So let's break down what that could mean, because it's really important. Because if human remains were found, I think this is a different or somewhat different conversation. The fact that it was partial human remains. Okay. Let's also not let it fall too far away from our conscience that this is the second time that we have had human remains found in this story. Of course, Gabby Petito's remains were found in Wyoming. The process that had to follow after that to confirm that the remains did in fact belong to Gabby Petito, and the family being notified. Now, heartbreaking of a day that was. But here we have partial human remains that have been discovered. And Walt, that could mean a variety of different things. That's so open-ended and vague, but perhaps we can have a little bit of a conversation here as to what the reason is for partial. Yes, we understand that it's clear that it's not that the human remains are not entirely intact, but why aren't they entirely intact? We have been talking here at great length on WFLA Now about this is an area known for gators, known for coyotes, known for panthers, known for snakes. And if this is the discovery of a body, as grim and as gruesome as it is to have this conversation, if this is the discovery of a body that has been there for an extended period of time, Florida wildlife has gotten to that body.
No doubt about that.
But if the body was underwater, well, then it rules out what kind of wildlife perhaps would have been able to have gotten to these remains. And that's one scenario that is plausible as far as why it's partial human remains and not entire full human remains.
And not to get too gruesome, but obviously the partial is important because the part of the body would lead to a quicker identification. Although,
that's entirely true.
Although obvious, if there's a wallet out there, if there are clothes out there, if the backpack somehow holds a hint, we knew the
so for those asking,
was released right away.
For those asking about what's going on at the
that news conference was held on a
Landrie residence, apparently there are protesters there and they're yelling "burn in hell."
And they knew right away the manner of death was a homicide. The cause of death was then released just last week.
Let me see if I could find that.
If it's a similar time
to bring to you,
they could know a manner of death, or at least know who this is relatively quickly, and perhaps they already do. I mean, the response has been interesting. JB brings up the point that in the beginning of this case, there was some other remains found out there. They determined pretty quickly, it seemed like within hours, that they were not Brian Landrie. In this case, these human remains prompted a lot of activity there, including Landrie's parents coming out there, including an FBI release, one of the few FBI releases we've had in this case about what was found out there. They didn't say remains. Let's be clear. The FBI did not mention remains, but they mentioned items of interest. And it's only the second time, really, or third time we've seen anything from the FBI as far as a news release in this case. So that does tell us something about what is suspected at this point of exactly who that is.
Let's go split screen for a moment, but before we do, we can't ignore what we're watching here. It appears a law enforcement crew on a John Deere style of vehicle has been navigating through the reserve or through Myakkahatchee, through the park itself, and now they have disappeared into the trees here. That area on your screen, underneath those trees, that is where all of the attention is being paid. And it's an area I can't help but wonder, Walt, what this would have been like if these remains were discovered on our screen, a couple inches to the left, or a couple football fields. If it was in that open field there,
sure.
then
We'd
we
know a
have
lot more,
news
right?
choppers, drones. I would imagine everything going up over the area. I wonder if then the FBI would have requested a TFR if they would have requested to get aerial vehicles, news vehicles out of the air.
And to be clear, we don't know that for all we know, the white tent, that's the blue tent.
That's the blue tent. That's just a
blue
weight.
tent is just a fence post, if you will.
Yep.
There's no tree there. They wanted to cordon off an area around the white tent. We do not know what they're doing under the white tent. We don't know if that's where the remains are, or that's where they're analyzing the evidence that they found. So, and again, yeah, it is a thick stand of trees. And in that way,
so they're yelling that at the front of the park. Okay.
Obviously, we would not want to show human remains live on TV or taped on TV either, or recorded on TV. So,
Lala, that is very possible.
The tape is interesting because they've partitioned off this area.
That
and
is very possible that it's not even Brian.
But it just could be to establish a large enough perimeter to be even to double check that they have the perimeter established to not contaminate the scene.
I think, yeah, it's safe to say is that it's all about disturbing what is still, I guess this is still a crime scene of sorts. He is the suspect in a.
If you're asking if Brian can be charged,
fraud case,
if this is him,
and he is a person of interest.
If this is his remains, there's not going to be any charges.
A crime scene.
Now,
and the investigators.
I'm not going to say that.
Many have said there's no
let me
justice
just turn
for
this
Gabby
down a
Petito
little
here.
bit. What I'm going to say to that, Amy, is they can't charge a dead person, right? A dead person can't stand trial. But what could happen is the Petito family could do a civil suit against Brian's family, against the parents. Civil suits are a lot easier to win than criminal cases. So if the Petito family believes that Brian did this and had help from his parents, they can go after his parents in a civil suit.
So you guys can see the entranceway to Myakkahatchee.
So here's the entrance.
You can see just members of the public who they can't walk in. They're going to be stopped by law enforcement if they try to walk into Myakkahatchee. But this story has attracted people from all over.
I believe that here
folks all over the country.
Some of the YouTubers.
And they have descended here.
I believe that could be actually Molly Golightly
on Northport, Florida, the Northport area. And they are, some of them are local people. Some of them have come from far and wide. But
Aquail, the thing is,
if
even
the
if he
camera
leaves,
pans over to the left, you'll see just every media outlet under the sun, literally under the sun, on a hot Florida day.
Even if he leaves a confession, you cannot charge a dead person. He's dead. But what can happen is that the Petito family could file a civil suit against
there's
the Landries.
That's a better angle.
Look at this.
There's some of the vehicles that are there in
those
the
are just
area
vehicles
underneath the trees. That's a good shot, and just some of the law enforcement officials that are now working this scene. Again, the medical examiner's office has been called. Multiple law enforcement agencies here in Florida have been called to the scene. Let's not forget that the Pasco County Canine Human Detections Unit is also here on the scene. And if there are partial human remains, that means that there's the chance that
Cindy, but it's damp and humid and hot in there. No, I wouldn't want to be under the trees. I'd rather be outside of the trees. And the bugs and everything that'll be in there.
That's particularly advantageous. We were talking about wildlife earlier. We were talking about the chances that the remains were the target of Florida wildlife. But
people, that were charged with a crime, and then later DNA showed that they weren't the ones who did it. But he hasn't even been charged with this crime yet.
Again, this is,
and they're not going to lay a charge on a dead man.
Investigation, Walt.
It is, and reflecting again on what the FBI.
I just showed the area HDM where the chopper is.
Landrie case, Brian Landrie's parents out there earlier today, and
I will keep this going, and I will show you that. Oh, I got rid of it. No, I didn't.
Why they were there? There's a lot of speculation this morning, and then of course we find out reports again from NBC indicate.
Okay, so the chopper now is heading. It looks like it's heading over the Landries to the Landries. I will show you that. Okay, so here it is here. And the chopper now is heading right down here towards the Landries. The Landries live down here. And it was flying all over around here in the Carlton Reserve. And now it's coming down this way. And it looks like it's going to be flying over the Landries residence.
The parents being there, the developments that occurred today, these are, again, these significant developments that so many people have been waiting for, but I don't know if it's the exact development that a majority of the public was hoping that they would actually learn to be true. And what I mean is that there were so many people, Walt, so many people that thought that the most direct avenue, the most direct way to get justice for Gabby was to find Brian Landrie alive.
By the definition of justice, yes. Either way, I think, sadly, a young life, 22-year-old's life ended in what many have said would be one of the worst possible ways. Strangulation, where you're seeing the suspect do that to you.
Here's Powerline Road. This is the road that goes west to east, east to west, across now Carlton Reserve and connects really the two sides. Talking about the Venice side near Carlton Reserve, the entrance to the Carlton Reserve itself, and then the Myakkahatchee side, which is closer to Northport, where the Ford Mustang convertible was found. That's on the east side. This is the road that kind of intersects and goes between one area of the reserve to the other. And let's go here full screen. Let's look at exactly what we're seeing here on Powerline Road.
Okay, so there's the FBI, the government vehicle.
Clearly a law enforcement
that
vehicle.
Black vehicle.
That's a sheriff vehicle. That might be Pasco County Sheriff. And this could be, if that's Pasco County, and I'm trying to see, it's really hard to see. And
K9 unit.
You know what? Let's ask. Hold on, I can ask Jim.
So down by that bridge
Radio
again.
in the Eagle here.
So they're all over. See, they're set up here.
Jim, by any chance, did you catch?
That's where Brian Landrie's car was apparently
chance,
parked.
Did you catch on Powerline Road there? Was that Pasco County?
It may have been. It's hard to tell. It was definitely two sheriff's vehicles, and I'm not sure about this black vehicle. It's either
is that a
FDLE
coroner's
or
vehicle,
FBI,
perhaps?
I think.
That could be a coroner's
not really
vehicle.
sure.
Government
there it is. Okay.
Vehicles are sheriff's
Jim, there you
vehicles,
see it. There's K9, and that's Pasco. Yep. So that's what I thought.
K9 unit.
That is the K9 Human Detections Unit with Pasco County. Thank you, Jim.
Jim, has that? Can Jim hear me?
I don't think he can.
Okay. I'm just curious if that is new. Is that vehicle been there a little while? Did it
So
just get
forensic
there?
So
K9.
that vehicle arrived a few hours
But
ago.
this big black
and we
vehicle
know
is what I
because we
showed
had
you coming in
confirmed
when
that
they said it was a
Pasco County,
government,
just like last week.
government
That
vehicle.
Pasco County was asked to brought in their K9 Human Detections Unit, and there it is on the scene. And then so here's another vantage point now. This showing
too.
all of the law enforcement vehicles
This
that are
government vehicles
at the
is
scene
what this was brought
inside
in.
the Carlton Reserve now. So
That almost
take this
looks
for
like
what
the
you will. Some
Landrie's
of them are going to be
vehicle.
marked vehicles. Others are going to be unmarked vehicles. Clearly, that black trailer there, that is an unmarked vehicle. There you can see, I think that's the Northport Police Mobile Command Unit. There you can see a police tent there. That's the volunteer law enforcement vehicle that we saw enter about a few hours ago. Northport Police SUVs. There's the Lee. I think that's the Lee County Sheriff. This is now interesting because this is all of the vehicles that we saw enter on the ground shot. This shot, we saw all these vehicles come in over the last several hours, one by one, trickle in here to the Carlton Reserve, and now they're here inside the reserve itself. So, folks, we are refueling Eagle 8 HD. And the reason, and we'll let everybody know the reason as to why we're sending Eagle now. We aren't low enough on fuel to necessitate a refueling trip. However, we aren't just a live streaming platform. We also, of course, we have our newscasts on WFLA News Channel 8. We are your NBC station in Tampa, Florida, serving the Tampa Bay area. So Eagle 8 HD has to ground itself to fuel for 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Yes, we have a lot of newscasts here on your NBC station, 8 on your side, WFLA News Channel 8 in Tampa, Florida. And so...
Okay, so Eagle 8 is going back now to refuel again. So what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to end the live. If you guys do want to continue watching every little piece of this, you can go to WFLA on their YouTube channel and you can watch it there. If anything else that I find that is a verified information, keep an eye on my community posts. Anything that I come out with, because I get information from all different sites and stuff, as long as it's verified, I will put it in a community post so you guys can stay up to date with what is coming out and what is verified. Yes, Kathy, I just seen that too, that the FBI is going to have an update at 4 p.m. So that's, it's in 45 minutes. So I will be watching that. I'll let you guys know what I do find out. I want to thank you all of you guys that are here, that have shown the respect that each and every one of us deserves. And that includes me showing respect to you guys too. And I get that back from you guys. So I want to thank you very much for being respectable and being nice to the mods and understanding that the only thing I want coming out of this channel is verified information and why. Okay, so I thank each and every one of you for everything that you do for the channel and for being here. Okay, so until the next time, you guys, please take care of yourself. Please stay safe and keep an eye on my community tab. I will post any updates that are verifiable. I will post them there. Until the next time, please take care. Love you to the moon and back. Bye-bye for now.